That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard.
Watch that poo there. Did do it, did you?
Emily Thornberry, do you believe...
Whoa, another one!
So why did you go to Israel with Labour Friends of Israel and shake hands with President Herzog?
I just do as I'm told, you know, me.
I'm here at Labour Party conference in Liverpool, where delegates have been trying to force the government to accept that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza. That's not happened yet, but there's been protests outside here all day, and 66 people have been arrested for expressing support for Palestine action. Now, we applied for a press pass so that we could go into the conference and ask questions that we know you want answering, but Labour rejected our application. So we can't actually get inside, so instead we've turned up here and we're just outside the event and we're hoping to talk to politicians as they come out. David Lammy, Deputy Prime Minister, it's Martin Williams here from Declassified UK. Why are we selling arms to Israel despite the UN saying that there's been a genocide in Gaza that's still ongoing? Are you a war criminal, David Lammy? Are you a genocide denier? David Lammy, have you got blood on your hands? Should you be in The Hague, David Lammy? No? Do you believe there is a genocide in Gaza? Why won't you say anything about the genocide in Gaza? You've been absolutely silent about it. Have you got anything to say?
That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. I just did a speech, if you bothered to listen to it. I've spoken in Parliament so many times. That's just so patently ridiculous.
Why are we, if you think there is a genocide, then why are we still selling arms to Israel? Why are we still sharing intelligence? We've got British spy flights going over Gaza from RAF Akrotiri. No comment? Hello, is it Peter Prinsley?
How do you know that I'm Peter Prince?
Oh, you're a very famous person.
Who are you?
Martin Williams, Declassified UK.
What is that?
Declassified UK. Well, we actually wrote a story recently about your trip to Israel with Labour Friends of Israel and the fact that you failed to declare it in time. Is that
you? Are you the one who? What's your name?
Martin Williams.
Ah, you're Martin Williams.
Yes.
That's right. We were 3 days late. Then you made a big fuss about it.
Well, it was a breach. So why did you go to Israel with Labour Friends of Israel and shake hands with President Herzog?
I was asked to go. I just do as I'm told. You know me.
Yeah. Who asked you to go? Labour Friends of Israel.
Yes. Did you hear what happened to me last week?
No.
I went with Carbu to Israel. Not to Israel. I was going to the West Bank, and they wouldn't let me in. Did you not hear?
I did hear about that. Yes.
I went with Dr. Ofer, and we got as far as the border between Israel and Jordan. We were going from Amman to East Jerusalem, and we were forbidden from going any further.
What do you think of that? What do you think the UK government should do in response?
Well, they couldn't do anything about it. We rang the minister, and he said he could ring the minister, but he had such a bad relationship with her that he thought it would just make the situation worse if he spoke to her. So
why is it? Why were you going to Israel with Labour Friends of Israel, paying for all the expenses? What was that all about then?
Well, I'm just going to be better informed.
But do you not think it's wrong for a British parliamentarian in the Labour Party to be shaking hands with the President of Israel while that country is committing a genocide? Is that not something? Do you think your voters would be happy with that? Your constituents?
I have actually got no idea.
Do you care?
Well, I really don't know that they'd be very interested in it, quite honestly.
Do you think then that Keir Starmer should recognise that there is a genocide in Gaza? A lot of delegates here at the conference think that he should.
Well, I think that what the Prime Minister has said is that it's a matter for the courts whether there's a genocide.
That's what the Prime Minister has said, but what do you think?
Well, I'm not an expert on it, but I probably agree with the Prime Minister that it's a matter for the courts.
Do you think the same about Ukraine, Rwanda?
Well, I am not an expert on this stuff, and it would be a matter for the courts.
If you're not an expert, what are you doing shaking hands with President Herzog?
Listen, I'm going this way actually because I'm going to a meeting this way.
Okay. Everyone's got meetings, haven't they, today?
Well, that's the thing. Look, to be honest, I really don't think that continuing this conversation on the street gets us anywhere. So it's nice to meet you, gentlemen, and I shall see you again.
Okay. Hello, Tom Watson. Martin Williams here, Declassified UK. Are you still a member of Labour Friends of Israel?
I don't know, actually.
You don't know?
No, but I think they're a very fine organisation.
Really? You think it's good that they're sending people out to shake hands with President Herzog and other people in the Israeli government?
I think it's really important that Labour shares its partnerships around the world and shares its values and tells our partner organisations what we think. Watch that poo there. Careful, Martin, you don't want to get in the poo.
Okay. I've been here all day. I know where it is.
You didn't do it, did you?
No, don't worry.
You two get out of the way. Anyway, lovely to meet you. Thank you. Have a lovely day.
Do you think that...
I think I've done my interview.
Do you think that Keir
I've got
Starmer
to
should
go.
recognise the genocide?
I think I've answered your questions. Thank you.
Do you think that he should recognise the genocide, Tom Watson?
It's like old times here. Hello, you two. I won't stop, otherwise you'll end up on the internet. I'm being vox-popped here.
Are you proud of the government's record of criminalising pensioners, veterans, Holocaust survivors for holding placards? Is that a source of pride?
I think I've answered all your questions. Thank you. This is getting to the point where I'm feeling slightly harassed and bullied by you.
Okay, well, I'm just walking along with you. All right, have a good day. Well, it's free press, isn't it? Do you think it's a genocide?
Well, we know that the United Nations, panel that looking things have described things in that way, but we also know that there are legal. You can get in a whole semantics around that. I don't think that's terribly helpful. I think the reality is what's going on is absolutely dreadful and awful. Yeah. You can call it, if you get into labels, I don't think labels actually help us. I think what you need is a solution to the problem.
They do help, because if it is a genocide, there are certain legal obligations that the government has.
And once those legal decisions are made, proper appropriate steps will be taken.
There have been 66 people arrested here for protesting against the genocide and holding up placards that said, and I quote, I oppose the genocide, I support Palestine action. The oldest was 83 years old, I believe. Do you think it's wrong that we're arresting pensioners, we've arrested vicars, veterans, Holocaust survivors?
Well, it would be better if that wasn't happening. However, you do also know that that Parliament made a decision that Palestine Action were an organisation that are prescribed.
You voted to prescribe Palestine Action, so why did you vote? Why did you decide to vote?
Because with the information we had at the time, that seemed to be the right thing to do. Obviously, if it's necessary to relook at that, that's what will be done.
So up here we can see a venue that is hosted by an actor. Now, an actor is a lobbying company that was set up by Teddy Ryan, a former Labour Party advisor. Among their clients, recently signed up as a client, is Pearson Engineering. Pearson Engineering is owned by Rafael, which is Israel's state-owned arms company. An actor's staff are almost exclusively ex-Labour people. And Teddy Ryan, the guy who runs it, is married to Labour's current General Secretary, Holly Ridley. Hello, Chris Bryant. It's Martin Williams here from Declassified UK.
More interviews this
do you believe that Keir Starmer should recognise that there is a genocide in Gaza?
I'm not doing any interviews, I'm afraid. If you want to ask for an interview, you need to make an appointment. Sorry.
The UN Commission has found that there is a genocide in Gaza. So has Amnesty International and huge numbers of human rights groups. And yet it seems like hardly any Labour MPs can actually say those words themselves. Can you say that? Is there a genocide in Gaza?
I'm not doing an interview. It's simple.
Hello, Martin Williams, Declassified UK. Hiya. Are you proud of this government's record of selling arms to Israel?
Well, we were one of the first governments, if not the first government in Europe, to cease selling arms to Israel.
We still do, don't we?
Well, we have the issue around the F-35 parts. We were part of an international supply chain, but even there, we're not sending them directly to Israel. I think.
Okay,
Don't ask me a question if you don't want to hear the answer. There's also the issue which lots of campaigners who are saying that we're selling arms ignore, that within those licences, for example, are bulletproof vests for aid workers and things like that. So if people want us to stop sending those, they should say that.
How about intelligence? Are you proud to be sharing intelligence?
Again, the Ministry of Defence have been very, very clear that the intelligence that we share with Israel from Gaza is focused on getting the release of the hostages.
Well, why won't it release any of the footage? Because that footage includes coverage when suspected war crimes were committed. And yet, if the government were to release that footage, it might provide evidence.
Well, sorry, I'm going through here. I'll need to see you later.
Do you have any answer to that? Is this a government of genocide deniers? Do you believe that there's a genocide in Gaza?
Well, I'm really proud this Labour government has taken the historic step to recognise the state of Palestine. We want to see...
Yeah, but my question is about the genocide.
What's going on in Gaza is absolutely horrific.
If it's so awful in Gaza, then why are we still selling weapons to Israel? Why are we sharing intelligence with Israel?
We've got an arms regime, which I'm sure you're aware, and have suspended a huge number of arms contracts to Israel, rightly so. Anyway, thank you. Enjoy your evening.
But we're still sending spy flights over Israel, aren't we? Using the RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus. Is this a government of genocide deniers?
Thank you very much.
Why is it that no one in Labour is prepared to talk about and to use that word, genocide? The UN calls it a genocide. Emily Thornberry, do you believe...
Whoa, another one! Look, it looks to me like a genocide. I mean, you know, hey, yeah, it looks like a genocide. But it's not for me. It doesn't matter what I think. What matters is...
It doesn't.
No. What matters is what the courts say. There's going to be a reckoning. We have to make sure that we gather evidence, right, and that we make sure that people are held to account. That's what my select committee has recommended, and and I think that we should be taking we should be playing a part in the collection of evidence for eventual court hearings. That's it, because there will be a reckoning.
Emily Thornberry spoke there of a reckoning as the world comes to terms with the genocide in Gaza. But a lot of people might say that surely part of that reckoning is about people like her, politicians who, at the start of all this, and indeed until pretty recently, were happily going along with what this government were doing and the relationship this government had and still has with Israel. They can talk all they like about the two-state solution or Palestinian rights, but the fact is that for the majority of this genocide, the Labour government has been a key ally of Israel. And we continue to sell weapons and share intelligence with Israel. And a lot of Labour politicians have gone over to Israel and shaken hands with President Herzog or other senior figures. And indeed, just earlier this month, President Herzog was actually invited to Downing Street and he shook hands with Keir Starmer. So surely any kind of reckoning should also take that into consideration. Declassified is the only independent news organisation that's prepared to ask politicians these kind of questions. But this all takes time and money, so if you're able to, please consider donating